Hello, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to LEC Live. This is Ivan Ramirez, your Digital Experience Director. We also have with us Delia. Delia, how are you?
I'm doing well, Ivan. How are you?
I'm doing great. And we also have Dr. Uzziel Pecina with us. How are you, Dr. Pecina? How was your weekend?
Doing well, very busy, and it's hot.
It
Thank you
is
for asking.
hot. I
Thank
think it's
you.
going to be, what, 98, 100?
All week long,
Yeah,
100 degrees.
no, I
Wow.
love it. Mhm. Well, today we have updates on what we have going on, starting with Maestro Monday, Selena Peña. Delia had the chance to talk to her recently on our Ask an Educator Orgullo special series. So, how was that, Delia?
Oh, it was great. If you remember tuning in, she's such a calm energy storyteller. She has that Texas accent going on, but the Texas Latino one, right? Like
Hmm.
Texas is such a huge state. Um, some of the highlights and big takeaways is she talks about how being the firstborn Latina in her family, she talked a lot about family and how that shaped who she is and how she feels like she was like born into leadership, right? Like it was just already a part of her identity. And then she talks about her identity and started, really sharing how that unfolded for her, how her family reacted to her queerness, saying, "Hey, wear more makeup, wear more feminine clothes, etc." And so, um, and I would say another big takeaway for me, or my favorite moment with her, was when I asked her, like, why do you think Latinx educators are leaving the education industry faster than the average? And she said, she took a nice soft breath and she said, I think it's because they are starting to know their worth.
Hmm.
Mm,
And I said, wow. Like she didn't go into like all of these like negative experiences. She just said, I think they're starting to realize their worth.
yeah.
And and I would say another one, my final one. She just it was over an hour, Iman,
And
and
then
I
you
was
say you stayed
completely,
later, too.
huh?
You stayed later talking to her. Like, she's a
Yes,
really, yeah.
we stayed on till almost 6, and she just talked about how failure is to be expected, and she really um, talks to her students about that often. And as an educator, like our youth sometimes are afraid to fail and make mistakes. It's like in high school, kids are using pencils to write notes all the time because they want to be able to erase, like that concept of perfectionism, right? But yeah, those were my takeaways. I enjoyed listening. And were you able to listen to her?
I did, and I liked her vibe. I like how the calmness that you were talking about, and how she said she wants to advocate as a teacher in the community. I love her story. And for viewers, if you didn't get a chance to watch and listen to Selena Peña or Live with Peña,
Mhm.
uh, the video is on YouTube. It's also on Facebook, so you can go back and watch it and rewind if you missed something. Which it takes us to Aniceto. Recently, we featured Aniceto on our Orgullo Spotlight, and now he's going to be one of our guests, educators, and Ask an Educator this coming Thursday. Are you excited,
Oh
Delia?
yeah.
Mhm.
He's always looking over my right shoulder.
Oh yeah, he
He's
is.
always trying to like peek over, like, what's going on,
Yeah,
girl?
what's
Yeah.
going on?
Aniceto is born and raised in KC. I met him when I moved here in 2004. The summer of 2004, he was a high school student and he was in a leadership, um, it's called Diversity Leadership Institute, formerly known as Anytown. And he was, I think, he was a high school student. Then he became like staff. But he's a long time advocate and activist for social justice in the Latinx community, BIPOC community, LGBTQIA plus community. He is right now a fourth grade teacher at John Fisk Elementary in KCK, where his mother was a long time principal there, Josie Herrera, if that rings a bell. He also sits in a lot of boards and organization that promotes diversity and inclusion. And that's my niece calling me. And he also performs as a impersonator of Michael Jackson. I know he's come to Harmon and presented like Grupo Folklorico. He's just like a young man of many trades and many talents. And he's also Mr. Gay Missouri. So I look forward to interviewing him on
Yeah.
Thursday.
What an honor for you
Cool.
to interview Mr. Gay Missouri. And also, he was a performer this past weekend. Recently, we celebrated, we had our Pride festivities in Kansas City. And I know that he was there performing and also at the Pride Parade. So, yeah, he's really involved. So, make sure you tune in this coming Thursday at 4 p.m. We've been busy. Recently, we hosted our yoga self care with Eva, also our mixer with Rev Ed, where advocates, community organizers, community leaders, artists, they came and then we just had a good time learning from one another what projects they're working on. Also, last 2 weeks ago, I believe we awarded 25 Impacto Changemakers. There you see April Agate, which she will be a guest for our Revved Up live stream on our Rev Ed uh, platforms. So stay tuned for what we have coming on, which it takes us to the next. Coming up, we have LEC Learning Labs, and we have an amazing workshop speaker, Dr. Uzziel Pecina, with a great slate of panelists. Dr. Pecina, what can we expect? What can you tell us ahead of time for Leadership a la Brava?
Well, I'm pleased to be a part of this this discussion, this conversation, mentorship, advice giving, guidance type of lab by means of a wonderful group or panel of sitting administrators. These are administrators that are current principals, district officials. We have one assistant principal, and but they all have leadership experience and have gone through the process of becoming a leader from having been a teacher. And so what we thought would be a good start to the summer would be to have any Latino teacher who is thinking about administration, because you have different options and different opportunities to earn a master's degree or a specialist degree. And this is one path that has a lot of different opportunities that can lead up to superintendency. So we wanted to bring in some current administrators who can answer some questions, give their own personal stories of how they went into administration or fell into it in my case, and where they can plan on going in the future or where they are, and just have a conversation and to see how we can help future Latino leaders as they move forward in administration.
This is open to anybody. Just a reminder, in my experience, I never thought that I would be an administrator as a young person. But later on in life, I think I could have done it. So if you're out there and you're doubting yourself, just come on over. There'll be different mentors, different administrators that have been through the steps that you are going through. So it will be a good time to talk to them and see what your options are. Who are our panelists? I want to mention their names. We
Good
have
question.
Eduardo Mendez.
Eduardo Mendez, Josie and Tommy Herrera, the
Mhm.
dynamic dual administration team. We have Michelle Aguirre from Foreign Language Academy, Luis Hinojosa from East High School, and that makes up the team. 3 males, 2 females.
Also, lunch is provided. So if you come at 10, you'll get to be part of this great conversation. Then later on, we'll give you lunch for free. So make sure you
Yes.
join us on Wednesday.
Yvonne and Dr. Pecina, I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I shared last week that I wish this learning lab was available when I was like a 3rd or 4th year teacher, just to engage and learn and just have some awareness around it. Because you're right, Yvonne, when we're young, we're like, heck no. I am not going to be no administrator. I see what they go through. Nope, I'm comfortable right here. But then, other people realize your leadership qualities. And that's when I started entertaining the thought. Like my colleagues and in the curriculum department, for example, would say, you know what, Delia, you've led the way with cadre work and writing curriculum. I think you'd be a great fit for the instructional coaching position. And I instantly said, nah, I'm happy right here. Kids are my jam. But, if I didn't jump on that opportunity, I am now a candidate at Baker for district level and building level administration. However, had I sat on this learning lab, I might have started sooner and still been in the classroom, right? And learn all those leadership, approaches and methods and get to know and engage with other leaders in that cohort, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm so grateful to see things that I wish were available when I was in the classroom early on, because now I feel like we could reach more.
I agree. And we can, having been an advisor and, a director of a graduate program for leadership. I mean, I know quite a few people, at the, DESE, Department of Education in Missouri. And of course, many of the faculty members and the program coordinators right now at some of the institutions. So many of us, we all coordinate with DESE. And we all have similar classes that we have to teach in order for you to be an administrator. There are certain exams that have to be passed. And so if we can pass along some of the things that our future administrators are going to have to prepare for, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to start thinking about projects that they have to complete, opportunities for leadership while they're getting ready, to engage in a program. Because all of this helps them out as they, get into these leadership programs in order for them to complete, their assessments and the programs itself.
Yes.
Yep.
Excited.
Okay. Any final thoughts on this?
No.
Like Delia was saying, I was doing everything backwards. I was thrown into leadership at the age of 26. And so I didn't know what I was doing until I started going into, leadership courses to become a certified administrator. And it was then that I started to realize, hey, man, I could do things differently. Well, I could speak to other administrators from different metro-wide schools that were in the same classes as me. And so I was learning while I was doing, teaching, and making changes on the job as I was learning during my program. So I totally agree.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pecina, for being here with us. You'll stay here with us for a little longer.
Sure.
I'll see you on Wednesday, and I'll see you guys
on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be there too. And thanks for providing lunch, whoever's
doing it. Yeah. I'm making lunch.
Yvonne's cooking. Okay, no.
Yes, I'm cooking. Coming up, I'm excited for this. It seems like we've been working on this for a quite while. We're highlighting, like I said, and all of these educators will be together on June 23rd. We have a great moderator, Delia Perez Solorzano. So what can you tell us about the story circle?
Well, I have to say it was inspired by the Afro-Latinx panel. And I know Yvonne and I were ideating like, hey, let's do something for Pride Month. And it's like, yes. And so these folks here on the screen are all local KCK educators or an aspiring educator. And really, it's just a time to hear their stories on their identity within the LGBTQIA plus community, and just share their lived experiences with the folks as educators, and different hurdles that they've overcome, and their aspirations, and the importance of representation, not just Latinx representation, but the LGBTQIA plus community of students that they serve and they interact with. Angela is amazing. Angela is a Sumner graduate. She is now completing her degree, and she's already she's ready. She's ready to get into the classroom double majored. I believe she'll be certified to teach both French and Spanish, but I'll let her share more of her story. Aniceto, we just talked a little bit about. And so, and Anastasia is a middle school teacher in Eisenhower and KCK. And we also interviewed her a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't heard her, a little bit of her leadership journey, she shared that.
Also, Expresión Storytelling Fellowship is coming to an end soon, but we are excited to showcase the stories that these educators have been working on for the past 2 months. These stories are centered around our LEC values of values. I get confused. Verticals.
Oh,
Of home, heart, and humanity. So stay tuned. It'll also be streaming live on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and hopefully soon on Instagram at the same time. So stay tuned for that. And we have Learning Labs this Wednesday. It's part of a series. So in July, we come back for LEC Learning Labs LQ number 2. Evaluating and responding to multilingual needs in schools with Dr. Socorro Herrera from Kansas State University. So stay tuned for that. We have different, I think there's 4 learning labs that are coming up soon. Other than that, remember to live on the values of impact, personal growth, integrity, authenticity, and community. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. We are 920 away from being able to be live on TikTok. So make sure you follow us, share TikTok with your friends. Any last words, Delia, Dr. Pecina?
Go K-State, man.
Go K-State.
Man, I'm a K-Stater, man. I got 2 degrees from there, man. That's my alma mater. All right.
Oh, so
and I know Dr. Socorro.
I was going to say, so then you know Dr. Socorro very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm sure she's going to talk about some of her biography-driven instruction.
Can't see my purple? Come on, man.
That is purple. Yeah, okay.
K-State purple, man.
Mm-hmm.
All the way.
Aniceto likes him too, and I see why you brought the Herreras in. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're also K-State.
It's the K-State Latino Mafia. That's what it is. The Latinx Mafia from K-State.
Okay. Right. I'll see you guys later. Adios.
Adios. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Bye.
Like us, we're sitting there like in the arena in Las Vegas.
When I started this LEC community,